What's good, my G's? It's your boy Snow, Ignorant Gamers in the house. How you doing? How you living? How you gaming? Of course, if you don't already know, G stands for Gamers. Welcome to the channel for the first time if you're here because of the headline. And if you're already subscribed, you already know what to do. Hashtag IGZ up. Yo, guess who I got in the building today? Uncle RZA. Holla.
What is the deal, beautiful people?
Yes, sir. So you know how this 1-2 thing goes. For you who are new, stick around. You're about to get a very good conversation. Now, today, we are going to talk about the PlayStation Vita and the hopes of a PSVita 2. And I wanted to have this conversation with Uncle RZA because he owned the Vita and I didn't. And I'm supposed to be the PlayStation fanboy on the channel. I'm a consumer first. Don't you ever forget that. Now, Uncle RZA, you had one from launch, correct?
I did.
All right, and just to get this one question out the way, you definitely want to see a new one, right?
1,000%.
Okay, cool.
I'm gonna purchase a new one. I don't even want to see a new one.
You're gonna purchase one. All right, cool. That's where we at on that. So going back to the original Vita to help us get to the potential new one. When you first seen the Vita, what was your initial reason for wanting one and for actually getting one?
Well, I'm gonna tell you, it was the PSP.
Okay.
That's where it started for me.
Shout out to the PSP.
You know, I don't think a lot of people, no matter what praise we give the Nintendo Switch today, and what we're about to praise, how we're about to praise a Vita, like the PSP was God mode, B.
I feel like a lot of people who are new to gaming missed out on the PSP.
Oh my God, they missed out on the free game shit too.
Oh yeah,
boy,
well, that's a whole other thing.
Did we hack the shit out of that Vita? But nonetheless,
that's
the Vita came. The Vita came at a time where mobile games wasn't shit. The cell phone industry didn't take off yet, so mobile, air quote, mobile, quote unquote, mobile game wasn't a phrase yet, right. And the Nintendo's Game Boy game wasn't that strong. You know what I mean? Like, and by wasn't that strong, I'm not talking sales, I'm not talking game. Like, they had 1 million games for these Game Boys, but when you figured out, or the first time you saw Madden on your PSP, that was to me, that was like, oh shit, this is a real console game. Right. I mean, behind the curtains they would develop it different, right? But it was close enough. Like, son, do you remember Need for Speed on your PSP?
Absolutely.
Yo, some of my fingers almost fell off because the ergonomics of the original PSP wasn't that good, but I'd be damned if I'm not playing this.
Right, I mean, the PSP at that time actually felt like a PlayStation 1.7 or 1.9 instead of a 2.
Which was amazing.
Right, it was very close. I mean, the PSP probably wiped out a lot of the games on the PlayStation 1.
That all they had to do was make, if USB was a widely accessible thing back then like that, all they had to do was make a USB port to plug a DualShock into, and the HDMI to put it to a TV. Son, right? And you're there. Right. You're there. So that was, I was always in awe with the Vita. I'm sorry, with the PSP.
With the
when the Vita was released, I was like, oh shit, I hope they hack it day one. Here we go, son. Free games for everybody. But in all seriousness, it was that experience of true to life console games that didn't even have to sell me on the Vita. It was a day one for me from the time they announced it.
Right.
But you, hang on a second.
Right.
Why did you, of all people, why did you, good sir, not own a Vita?
Well, I had a PSP. It took me forever to get one, and I enjoyed some elusive things that happened on the PSP. But before that, I had a lot of fun with SOCOM. You know what I mean? The SOCOM games on the PSP were glorious. They were amazing. And I had to get my SOCOM fix no matter where I was, because that's what I was on. And the PSP versions of those games were no walk in the park, because we also had online multiplayer. So I'm like, all right, this is cool. But at the same time, all this awesome stuff, the Need for Speeds and, you know, the Grand Theft Autos, all this stuff was happening, including the comic book app that was on the PSP. When all this stuff is happening, I started realizing I started caring less about handheld gaming. I needed that screen experience, because the technology got better on my console. See, when the Game Boy first came, it was an extended reach, and you was just happy to not be in your house tethered to a TV. You could just take it with you, even if the games were slightly different, if not completely different. As I started getting older, I started wanting better games, and then the PS3 delivered that. The end of the PS2 delivered that. And it was just like, all right, I can wait till I get home, even though I commute. The PSP was an amazing, accessible, portable entertainment device. Fast forward to the Vita. I never felt like I was missing out with the Vita. I didn't feel like I was left out either, because there were a few things that I felt I didn't agree with physically, which is the reason why I opted out of the, let's just say, the Nintendo GameCube. The first thing first was I didn't believe in that touch thing on the back of the screen. We have devices already coming out using touchscreen. Whatever you want me to do back there, put it on the front of the screen. Plus, the buttons didn't add up. If I had 2 shoulder buttons on the left, 2 shoulders on the right, 2 more for the analogs, well, what's missing from the Vita? If you want me to get that engaged. So those first things turned me off. And then the last thing that turned me off was proprietary memory card.
I remember. I mean, that's still a problem today.
Yeah.
Because you know, there's still people out there who's looking to buy Vitas, and I see deals on them every now and then, and people then they go look at the memory is damn near the price of what they pay for the goddamn console.
It's still one of the biggest reasons why I would love to get it now and just make it. I mean, I have PlayStation Plus. I have a ton of Plus games that can go on that Vita, and it's like, well, there's no real memory solution for me to do that with.
Yeah.
So
because I think the largest they sold was 128, right?
Yeah, and you already know what that astronomical price was. Yeah, that was not a safe purchase for me, right? So that was my experience before the Vita even started. Like, I already had written it off. That was just the hard stop.
Those are Sony quirks, though.
And it pains me every time.
Product breaking.
I mean, they brought us the Duo, right? They brought us the Duo that we use in the Vita. I mean, in the PSP. That ended up being in cameras and stuff and other little products, but that made more sense. So if you already broke it once and it was slim, why would you make this thicker, fatter thing when we getting slim?
Yeah. What was it called? The Duo Pro 2?
I forget the name, what it was called for the Vita.
Yeah, I don't know.
So
okay.
So that was it. Now, I do have some experience with the Vita, but I wanted to hear your experience with it. What was the most memorable thing you can say about your experience, just to start this off?
It ain't gaming. I just turn the shit on just to look at it. I would legitimately be on some fuckboy shit. Like, I would go through games. I'd like, yo, you can pause games and open new games. I do that as a techie.
Right.
I was just in awe at this thing. I download Twitter on there and never use it. I turn it on every now and then to run the update. Son. But I think outside of just obsessing over the device, I think the Uncharted was dope. I really, really, really loved the Uncharted.
The Abyss.
Yeah, the Abyss. There's something I didn't like that they forced you to use the goddamn. There was portions in the game where you had to you're walking like a tightrope and you got to use the gyro. And, come on with that bullshit.
Right. I mean, that's the ape escape method. You know.
I could understand it. All right, fine. We all do that. But there's that, and I think the fighting games. Mm-hmm. I just love that I had my fighting games on there.
Absolutely.
And you know, for me personally speaking, mobile or handheld gaming and fighting games go hand in hand.
Absolutely.
Because that's something you could turn on real quick, knock out a few rounds, turn right back off.
Right.
Or if you feel like getting lost for 2 hours in a fighting game, put it up to 8 stars and get your ass beat. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
So I really enjoyed that. I think I had Blaze Blue on there too. Man, I don't know, but nah, you know what? It just hit me like a ton of bricks, boy. I'm gonna have to shift everything down. My number one experience is Final Fantasy motherfucking Tactics. I bought that game. I think that was my fourth time buying that game. Because I had it on the PlayStation 1. I bought it for the iPad. I bought it on the iPhone. No. That's my third time because I bought it. The last time I bought it was on the iPad.
Right. But, and that was recent.
I love that game, so I can't. Like, that game right now is... My Vita is called my Final Fantasy Tactics machine. That's what it is.
Right.
So if I wake up one morning and be like, yo, son, I feel like some Ramza. I want to get it in. That was the name of the main character.
Right.
So my Vita's right here charged. I never, the plug is always right here.
Right.
And I turn it on and the first thing you see is the Final Fantasy Tactics pause screen. I got like 2 different game saves. I got a brand new one because for some reason in Final Fantasy Tactics, the very first stage is the hardest shit you ever played in your life.
Right.
So I got a new one to get there, and then I got to save it like 40 or 50 hours or some shit in that. But yeah, Final Fantasy Tactics, yes.
Right. I mean, I don't even have to ask, what was the 3 reasons, because you've just been giving our reasons all the way through. So in terms of things that it did excellent for you, right? Was it fast? Was it snappy? Was it responsive? What was those 3 amazing things that it did for you?
I mean, it was what it said it was. It was what it advertised to be. A lot of people in this world don't count that. Like, right. Son,
I feel like it's undervalued.
Right. We're so bombarded with shit claiming to be this, claiming to be that. And, people adapt it and be like, yeah, it kind of sort of is, but it's okay. Like, no, it's not okay.
Right.
Like, the Vita was 1,000% what it was advertised to be. And I loved it for that.
Right.
Like, that, it executed well there. I love that I had the back library. I had my, my Final Fantasy Tactics. That was a big deal for me. A lot of the PlayStation 1 library was there. Can't be understated.
Right.
And I think the third was... I like a lot, like Gravity Rush. I played for a little bit on there.
That was a big title. So big that it got an actual console release.
Yeah, I mean, that's the weird PlayStation shit I like to say that I don't play. But I liked, it just gave me comfort, and I know I sound like a fucking idiot because not a lot about what I admire about this thing is actually playing it. But this is why I'm so passionate about Vita as a topic, because this product is 2 for 2.
Right.
The PSP was a hit. The Vita was a hit. And a lot about what I love is just everything around it. So it gave me comfort to go to IGN and look at the Vita section and see games that were like 8 out of 9, 8 out of 10, 7.8 out of 10. Like, yo, this is a game that I can get on the plane with.
Right,
That's a big deal.
Right.
So that was what was always meaningful about it for me, for sure.
Well, for me, I think one of the glorious things about the Vita, and it kind of got mixed up in the same glorious thing about the Vita on the PS3 is kind of sort of lost its thing for the PS4, was the fact that there was crossplay, right? So you look at a game like Skullgirls, which I always talk about, a fighting game, right? We talk about fighting games on handhelds. That's like one of the main things. If you bought Skullgirls on the PS3, if you bought it the right way, you got a crossplay and you got a copy on your Vita. And you can fight people on the Vita with your PS3 and vice versa. I thought that was super dope. So here's this crossplay function. Here's this I could take it with me out the door type thing in a way, right? That's how it works. Then they did another game, actually a home title game, which was called PlayStation Battle All-Star Royale. The technical version to Smash Brothers, right? That did the same thing. You had a situation, I think, with MLB The Show game, where you could take the story mode with you on the run, on the go. But when you come home, as long as you did the sync, you could play where you left off at on the PS3. I thought that was amazing. I thought that was dope.
Yeah.
The other reason that I thought the Vita was dope was when the PS4 came out, and again, this is actually what killed it as well, because of the button situations that I mentioned earlier why I didn't get the Vita, was you could remote play. And you can almost remote play from anywhere.
Yeah. I remember I saw a few videos of that tech demos.
Right. That
remember
you
the kid had the shit in the basement?
Right. Right. So you could do
video.
You could do the remote play feature, and instantly that beats the Wii U, because the Wii U was doing it. However, did it really beat the Wii U? Because the Wii U was the full game if available on the gamepad all the way. You get what I'm saying? And what was the distance? We still don't know. Now, the Switch is doing it where you could leave home and it's the same device. The Vita kind of sort of teetered that line as well. You know what I'm saying? And then the other thing that I like, that it was actually connected to the network. It's a under celebrated thing, but for PlayStation fans, of PlayStation users, that was a huge thing, that it was connected to the network. Your same friends was over there. I didn't have to create a new friends like we used to do on individual PS2 games.
With a keyboard, so you could do your messaging.
With a keyboard, you know what I mean? So those were my favorite things that I think made the Vita excellent. Again, but I was still ultimately hung up by the my original point. And Unit 13 to me was my favorite game that I played on that console. I think Unit 13.
I never played that one.
Unit 13 was so dope, and actually you can see traces of Unit 13 from RRP Slant 6 Games. Zipper Interactive. You see traces of that lineage coming from MAG into Unit 13, and then poured back into, I would say, SOCOM 4, which was the death of SOCOM 4, etc., etc., etc. So, but shout out to Slant 6 Games as well. So that was it. I already told you what I didn't like at the top, but I think you got one major thing that you didn't like about the Vita.
Me?
Yeah. What about your Gran Turismo, sir?
Remember. Oh, you know what? That's how much. Yeah, I don't remember. That shit is. I went to therapy for shit like that. I got a mental block in my mind. I don't remember it.
Such a lost opportunity on that too.
Son, that was a heartbreak right there.
Mm-hmm.
That was a heartbreak right there, because I remember from launch, in launch videos, there was footage of Gran Turismo. And it took so long. And I remember waking up, and I was looking for this review before the game came out. Can't find it. And just one morning I woke up and hit IGN, and they had the score up. That fucked my day up for the rest.
You went from overjoyed to what the hell?
Yup. I believe the score was like a 6. I could be wrong, but I believe the score was
I think it's a little
6.
lower than that, yeah.
And I was just like, damn, son, damn. That was an L. That was an L for sure. But I mean, other than that, like I said, I didn't really. I don't know if I can put I can put that L on them for sure. But outside of the games and stuff like that, there wasn't much to like. I guess if I was nitpicking, I never got a matting. I don't know why that was, because I literally remember playing Madden a lot on my Vita.
PSP.
Oh, I'm sorry, my PSP. I played it a lot on my PSP. I think I played it a lot on. I played FIFA a lot too. FIFA's on the Vita though.
I think you had the Vita. I remember you telling me about that.
Yeah, but I never understood why they brought over FIFA, but they didn't bring back Madden. I really enjoyed playing Madden on the PSP. That to me, that was another thing that I fell in love with it. It was like, wow, this is the real deal. Like, you got Madden.
Right.
Nintendo can't get Madden. You know what I'm saying? Like, they got Madden.
Right.
And to not, I noticed it not being there for sure. But other than that, wasn't much that I didn't like about it for sure.
Right. Yeah, I think for me, coming from the earlier handheld devices, the Nintendo approach versus the PlayStation approach for both the Vita and the PSP is slightly different. So like the Nintendo NES system kind of like, hey, here's all our characters. And then when they went to Super Nintendo, they started sending characters down to their portable, and you would never see them again on the main console. Now, on the Vita, well, the PSP didn't really do that. You know what I mean? The Vita, which opened the door for a lot of indie titles to go there, which was kind, if you still own a Vita, man, them indie titles is the way to go on that thing, right? But then the Vita never really had a crew that could stay on the Vita exclusive to hold it down. I mean, Gravity Rush was supposed to be that. Maybe Unit 13 was supposed to do that. But then it's missing a lot of those charm type characters that make it more attractive to that younger demographic to make it go there. And I think that was one of my things that I didn't like as a consumer, not for my personal taste, but as a consumer, that it didn't have that kind of library, which would have made it sell more, to give them more confidence. Of course, we know mobile gaming became a phrase as opposed to handheld gaming, and people can fight that any kind of way that they want. But with all that said, I still think it was a great device. And I think one of the things that I probably didn't like the most out of what I've already said was the fact that the PS4 integration was poor. It could have been so much.
I kind of understood why though.
I know why, but it was like the writing was on the wall the minute they launched. They just needed a reason to try to sell some more Vitas before they ultimately was just like, alright, yeah, that's it.
Or sell out the rest of the stock.
Right. You know what I mean? So that I would say that was one of the things. It was kind of like a bridge. Not that they needed it. I mean, 40 million PlayStations today. How many Vitas? You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, but I feel like I think the Vita is the Vita and the PS3 are a pair.
They're a true pair. But they knew the 4 was coming.
I wouldn't expect it to work at any meaningful way with the P4.
Well, remember when the PS4 video was introduced, right? And they talking about he spoke to developers and blah 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 blah. It's almost like the Vita never knew that they were going to do a PS4. Because what made it from the Vita to the PS4? The touchpad.
Yeah.
You know? That was like a huge, mess up or slip in my opinion. But hey, the PS4 is selling, right? It's saving the whole Sony company. So with all that out the way, of course I know you want to see a new Vita, but what would you like to see in the new Vita? Do you even want it to be called the Vita 2? Do you want it to have another name?
Man, I don't give a shit what they call it. What I care about is what I was saying at the beginning of the video.
Right.
I want the legacy. Be true to the legacy. Like I said, this thing is 2 for 2.
Right.
And if you look at the legacy of what this product was from PSP to Vita, it was about, okay, at the time, your main console may have been the supercomputer, but we figured out how to get a supercomputer in the palm of your hands.
Right.
And some other shit around it. That's all I want. That's all I want. That's all I need. So for the next Vita, when that comes out, it should be a mini PlayStation 4. That's all that's required. Really and truly, that's all that's required. I don't, all the other stuff, the mirroring and the remote play, all that stuff is cool, but yeah, whatever. Can I rock some Rocket League?
Right.
because Nintendo showed us the way.
Mm-hmm.
Son, all they gotta do, literally, is not fuck it up.
Right.
Just took what Nintendo did here and change a button or two, slap Sony on the back, and we in business.
Right.
And the Vita, I know when people, because you know this industry, which is why we be so frustrated a lot of the times, not only gaming but tech, people equate success to sales for some fucking reason, right? Because they don't have the mind to think. But to me, Sony has 2 successful mobile products, and that's just as strong. Batting 2 for 2 is just as strong as Nintendo batting 4 for 5.
Okay. You sure it ain't 2 for 4?
That's where I stand on it. Huh?
You sure it's not 2 for 4?
Wait, Nintendo took an L?
No, I'm talking about PlayStation. Sony in general.
What do you mean? With the mobile game? Nah, they 2 for 2.
I believe there was a Sony Milo, and I think there was a PSP Go.
I don't know nothing about those, my guy. You wildin' right now.
And I'm supposed to be the Sony
Milo.
dude, right?
You're not relevant to this conversation. So we'll talk about that. Fucking is that the robot dog? What's the name of the robot dog?
No. I forget the name of the robot dog. I forget his name already.
He got a cutesy name too. I remember the PSP Go though. I remember that. It was a strange product.
I felt like it wasn't needed. I understand what they were trying to do. They were just trying to build some capital with a cheaper technology, kind of like how the PS Slim goes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like it was.
Son.
It was
winning with that.
Yeah. So all right. So for me, I would say this. For me to be into the new Vita, right, or whatever it's going to be called. And by the way, the dog name is Aibo, AIBO.
Yeah, that motherfucker.
For me to be into that, right? One, they're going to have to do a PC or let's just say an NVIDIA Shield type infrastructure. The game may not be how the Nintendo Switch does it from the dock to the handheld. However, it should be running on very low, like a PC is, right? Mm-hmm. It has to do that. 2, being that it's going to be, used through the PlayStation Network, etc., 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 I might not be able to hook it to the PS4 directly, or maybe I could plug it in. Who knows, right? However, I should have that same experience that I was able to have with, MLB The Show or PlayStation Battle Royale. Right. Once I get home and it touches my Wi-Fi, it uploads my file, and I drag it back down on the PS4, and I just continue. It won't be as awesome as it is on the Switch, but it'll be something because it just be a continuation. And my biggest 2 things, other than just games in general, we can backfill that, but like it has to have a standard ports, and that also means media, SDXC, micro SDXC, whatever, don't care. It has to be that. Don't make me go spend $120 for 128 whatever it is new thing that you're trying to do, right? And you gotta get the buttons right. You gotta get the buttons right.
I think they will.
I
think they will.
Sometimes people like to play. They like to play. They like to try to push, and then they'll remove stuff, and then we'll tell you like, yeah, well, we didn't do the buttons right, but you know what you can do? It hangs off your belt. Like, nah, son, get my buttons, but nah. But when it hangs off the belt, it does your taxes. Like, no, I have people who do my taxes. Give me the buttons.
That's hilarious.
And that would make me feel good. If you're not gonna give me the buttons, then okay, like you said, let me plug something into it. Let me plug the PS4 controller into it, and it works. That would probably help me because I'm a little bit more relaxed on the handheld stuff right now. So that would get me.
I'll tell you what. The good thing about what's happening here is how a lot of gamers have their foot in their mouth,
Mm.
right? Like, I hope that Microsoft is gearing up to do some sort of Xbox One M. I hope that Sony's out there side-eyeing Nintendo like, yo, we did that first.
Right.
Where you come from with all it? You know what? Get in the lab. Get in the lab. Let's show them how it's done. I hope that that's happening. But there's a lot of gamers out there who refuse to acknowledge the dude in the corner on the 2 train playing, what's the name of the Subway Surfer?
Yeah.
People refuse to acknowledge these people as gaming.
Yeah.
And as twists and fate would have it, gaming set the groundwork for Nintendo to murder everything with the Switch.
Absolutely.
Because that's exactly what the Switch is. It's an iPad with proper controllers around it and access to the Nintendo Mario store. So I think it's interesting to see how, you know, these gamers, there's the Master Race, and then there's the PS4 Pony and the X-Bot, and they get together and they argue, and then somebody walks through the door with their phone and everyone stops like, look at this clown in the corner.
Let's mob on this mobile dude real quick.
Yeah, this app store, like this game center clown. Like,
What are you
that's
playing?
what gamers
Snake?
do.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. And it's funny to see that that's what's pushing the innovation of gaming forward.
Right.
So,
Thus microtransactions.
microtransactions ain't stopping no time soon. Somebody buying shit.
Yeah. People buying lives.
Yo, you know that what are they? There's a old Wall Street. This is some real white collar crime shit, where they used to. It's an old Wall Street trick where they used to pump money in their own stock. And of course, the stock price is going up. Everyone's like, "Oh shit, this stock is on fire right now."
Right.
And it would just keep going.
Yeah.
That's the bullshit we're talking about right now.
And then they pull the seat out. Yep.
Exactly. That's the bullshit we're talking about right there. So,
So definitely
It
a new Vita for you, and you want an Xbox One M, which is a video we've already done.
I do. I
So
want all
that-
them shits. I'm not
so-
playing anything, but I want them.
You just want them. That's the gadget side of you talking. Yeah, it's a fun time. I still need to get a Switch, I guess.
Yo, you should get one, man. They got 5 games. You said 5 games. There's 5 games.
Well, you know, the Xenoblade Chronicles isn't the X series, so technically they gave me 4.
I almost bought it yesterday, to be honest with you.
Chronicles?
Yeah. I didn't buy anything yet. I figured I'd give Zelda one more chance. I hate that fucking game. I'm trying not to spend money crazy, but I almost bought the Chronicles. There's some next shit on there. Bayonetta. Because Bayonetta 1 and 2 is on there now, so I almost got those. But
Yeah, those are good plays. Those are very good plays. I still play Bayonetta on my Wii U. Bayonetta 1 and 2.
maybe I should pick them up then. Are they long?
They're decent. They're about the same size as a Devil May Cry game.
Oh, okay. So you ain't gonna finish it in like a day.
Nah, you're not gonna finish it in a day. It's actually great for you because if you're on a train, it's basically a beat 'em up. Beat 'em up / shoot 'em up. Like imagine having God of War on your Switch.
But that's what made the Vita.
I know. That's what made the Vita poppin'. You know what I mean? And the PSP for that matter too, because there's a couple of them over there. But just imagine having that. Imagine having Devil May Cry on it. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah.
But yeah, hey, you guys have listened to the video. Thank you for going on a journey with us, and definitely want to hear your opinion on the PS Vita, the PSP, and what would you like on a new Vita, if it's even called a Vita. And again, we have a video called the Xbox One M for the mobile version of the Xbox. RZA coined the name. Keep the name going. Hashtag Xbox One M. Now, if you want to hear more videos like this, see more videos like this, you got to give us some feedback, baby. Like, comment, subscribe, share the video, do what you do. It all supports us and lets us know and motivates us to keep going. And don't forget that we have other channels as well, link in the description below, especially if you like tech and photography. Check the description below. Rizza, anything else from you?
Nah, that's it for me.
Alright, well, we're gonna sign out. Your boy Snow and Uncle Vizza, Ignorant Gamers, and we Ghost. Peace.
Peace.